Come with me on the tasty trail with Benjamin.
Hello, bonjour, annyeonghaseyo. Here we are in the beautiful temple of Haeinsa. Haeinsa is famous because it's a UNESCO heritage temple, a treasure temple because of the Tripitaka Koreana, the 80,000 Buddhist scriptures. But it's not why we came here today. We came because I want to introduce you the most important element of Korean food, which is kimchi, of course. So let's see how they make the kimjang or winter kimchi. This is the kimjang. Kimjang is the fact to make the kimchi for the winter time. It's also the kimchi made at that time. So kimjang was very important in the past because, of course, in winter in Korea, a very cold winter, we don't have much vegetables. And we need vitamins, we need proteins, we need acid lactic, since in Korean diet, you know, we don't use a lot of dairy products. So kimchi made for winter was very important in the diet. So that's the origin and the reason of the kimjang that you see we do all together, because it's a huge work. You have to prepare it for months. So most of the time you have the clan, the village, like here all the temple and the temple followers come together, join their forces to make the kimjang, the kimchi, for many months. And that's the spirit of kimchi, which is not only a dish, it's also, you know, a sharing culture and tradition. Please come, look, have a look. That's kimchi. That's what we mean by kimchi. This beautifully reddish cabbage, fermented cabbage. But you know, in Korea we don't have only the cabbage kimchi, we have like hundreds of different kimchi. Today we are focusing on this one. So have a look. You know, I want to go with you and have a look at what the ajuma are doing. Actually they are cutting or preparing the end of the cabbage. 아주머니 수고하십시오. 예, 안녕하세요. You know, they are preparing, look at that. This one has been fermented overnight for almost 1 day in a brine. And now they are cutting the end to prepare it and put the condiments. This is the cabbage kimchi. As I said, there are many kinds of kimchi. And cabbage was not always used. You know, it came only around the 13th century from China, actually. And cabbage was not available all year long. It was only produced, I think, around October, November. So that's why we made this kimchi for winter time, because after you have to wait for the next year to get more cabbage. You know, kimchi is good for many things. First, you find a lot of C vitamins in the red hot chili pepper. And you find also a lot of fibers, which is good for the prevention of colon cancer, constipation. And you have also antiseptic effect with the garlic. What else? Well, anyway, it's very good for health, as you know. It's very good for digestion. And very important, you have also the lactic acid that we don't find in Korean diet. And lactic acid is produced by the fermentation, and that's very good for metabolism and digestion. It looks delicious. You know, with this beautiful weather, the sun and the red color. Oh, 고맙습니다. Very fresh. So the leaves are, you know, they are a little bit tender, thanks to the not the fermentation, but the brine. But there is a very special taste. Here is the place where we put the condiment, the spices, what we call the yangnyeom, into the kimchi leaves before putting them in jars. So that's the work they are doing, and I think we should have a look at that. I'm going to ask the ajuma to try it and maybe do it with them, or at least explain what they are doing. Okay, I'm ready to try. 예. 그럴까요? 도와주세요. 어떻게 해야 되는지 하나. 여기 있는 거
예.
So I take things and from here.
예. 한입 이렇게
한입.
예.
Okay, one by one. One leaf after one leaf, you have to
예.
put.
이렇게 바르면 됩니다.
Alright, 이렇게.
잘하시네요.
그럴까요?
예.
She says that I'm doing it right. I don't think so, but trying my best actually. It's quite easy. Just take a lot of time. So, well, that's easy also because they prepared already the spices, what we call the yangnyeomjang. But I remember doing the kimchi at home. When you have to prepare it yourself, it takes a lot of time. And you know, the kimchi was not always called kimchi. At the beginning it was called chimche. And then after dimche. And then it's later that it became the kimchi. And you have to wait the Koryo times to have all these nice ingredients. I told you at first the kimchi was white. It was only a brine, vegetable, fermented, and without almost no condiment. And you have to wait for after the 10th century actually, to have all these condiments and spices like garlic, onion, chive, etc. put in the kimchi. And of course, I said after the 16th century, you have the red hot chili pepper coming, so it changes everything.
감사합니다.
All right, okay. So let's ask. I want to know more about what's going on at this table. 아주머니 안녕하세요. Hello. Hello. How are you? And did you do also the kimjang at your house? 그 집에서도 이렇게 김장 하셨습니까?
아직 안 했어요.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, because you know kimjang is something that we did in the past and we still do, even in the cities, in every house almost. Nowadays in cities it tends to disappear, but anyway, it's very important for the community, so you have it in every house, and even in villages people go all together to do it. So it's still something very important for the community spirit, I would say. And because you cannot do it by yourself, so you have to call the neighbors, you have to call the relatives, and that's a nice way to get all together. And in the past it was a very good opportunity to eat meat, because the noblemen of the village used to kill, for example, a pig and share the meat, you know, among all the people who came to help for the kimchi. So that's something, that's good memories, I think, for all Korean people, the kimjang time. I think that this lady has a special method to put the spices inside of the cabbage. Look at that, she used it like a sponge. Okay, oh, thank you very much. Look at that, that's the way it should be. It's like a baby. Huh? 아가 같아요, 이렇게 좀. It's very cute actually. Perfect. So we saw that the special technique to put all the spices inside. Now I think you understand. So the way I did it with my hands is not the proper way. You understand that you have to take the small parts, put it in the spices like that, and inside, like with the sponge, put it like that, and after you put what's left over inside, between the leaves. Okay, that's the result. Okay, so we were at Haeinsa Temple for the kimjang, and now we are in a high school. Why? Well, actually, you know, it's very simple. In Korea, you can have a basic meal with just rice and kimchi. And that's what happened for many, many years for the students at school. They would have, look at that, that's the meal, the traditional meal we had in the past, some rice, some side dishes, and kimchi. That could be enough for a full meal. Of course, nowadays in school it's completely different. Now you have restaurants and kids are having the meal on a tray like I guess everywhere else in the world. So I'm going to join the students and we are going to ask them about the kimchi, because I wonder what the new generation thinks about this very Korean dish. So So do you have every day? Do you have kimchi? Yeah. It's like
Same thing every day.
yeah, the basic.
Yeah.
So is it always the same kimchi, the bechu kimchi? No.
There's like the radish.
Radish, like the katsugi? Yeah. White kimchi as well. Wow. So tell me, what's your favorite kimchi?
김치가 안 나오게 다행이다.
I like this one. I like 물김치.
Kimchi?
물김치 is when you take it, you feel very cool and refreshing.
Yeah, it's very refreshing. Do you still eat a lot of kimchi on a regular basis? Yeah. So you like every meal. Why do you like it?
Unique taste that I can't get from any other food. And like we kind of grew up with it, so we're like when we eat together.
Of course, yeah. So, and what about the other kids in general? When you see your friends, do you think they like kimchi as well? Yeah. Everyone, yeah. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt your meal. Hello. I have a question about kimchi. Do you eat kimchi every day?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. And do you like kimchi?
Yes, I love kimchi.
Wow. All of you, do you like kimchi?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see, that's what I felt, you know. Even the young generation are really addicted to kimchi. So it's the basic of Korean cuisine. Wow, look at that. People are queuing in this restaurant, very famous for kimchi jjigae. And I like to ask people why they are waiting, what they are waiting for. I really wonder why there are so many people in this place. So 얼큰해서.
많이 풀어지니까 잘 찾는 것 같아요.
좋아요. 고맙습니다. All right. So I guess she gave us a very interesting clue, and I think it's going to be difficult to explain in English the 얼큰하다 concept, but giving a freshness through the very hot, spicy feeling. So that's a paradox of Korean food. You know, sometimes you are looking for freshness through something very hot and very hot boiling soup, for example, and also through very spicy dishes. Ah, yeah. Wow, beautiful color.
익으면 되니까 김치 드셔도 되고요.
Ah, yeah. You see this wonderful match, the white pure rice with the red chili kimchi. That's, I think, one of the reasons why people love kimchi jjigae. And I love it too. I think when I came in Korea, kimchi was a little bit strange at first because it was at the same time spicy and strong, and sometimes it can be as strong as a French cheese, you know. So it was a kind of unexpected taste for me. And I think kimchi jjigae is a good way for the beginners to appreciate kimchi if like raw kimchi is too strong maybe for them. Having the kimchi as a stew with the white rice, I think it's a perfect match, and at the same time it's a very good introduction. And you have also, of course, some red hot chili pepper, onion, some chive, and we'll see hidden among the cabbage leaves some pork. And pork is very important in the kimchi jjigae. Why? Well, it reminds me, you know, the saying of a French gourmet of the 19th century who said something like sauerkraut, you know, the French and German version of kimchi actually. A sauerkraut without pork is like a beautiful lady without teeth. So pork and cabbage, and especially pork and kimchi, like pork and sauerkraut, go together very well. What are you doing now? What are you exactly doing?
김치 볶는 겁니다.
All right, mixing the kimchi in the pot.
네.
Oh, I see. How long do we have to do it?
25분 정도 볶아야 됩니다.
25 minutes. All right, 25 minutes. So I think I tried to do it at home. It doesn't seem so complicated.
이렇게 사골을 육수를 조금씩 넣으면서 사골을 이렇게 육수를 넣고 찌개를 하는 겁니다.
So you are not only mixing it like that and cooking it, you are also using something, I guess, like a broth. Okay, I see. So you use the broth to put in the kimchi and make the jjigae or the stew. So this one is the sagol in Korean, which means ox bone broth. So you see the white color, it's because of the gelatin and the collagen in the bones. Here we are, back in my favorite place in Korea, the markets, in search for more kimchi and much more also. Rice, flour. Oh, and look at what we have here. I think I'm going to stop here. 안녕하세요. Hello.
안녕하세요.
Wow, this is kimchi jan or kimchi pancake. That's what I was looking for. So this is what we call the jan. The jan are these different kind of pancakes cooked with egg, and this is the kimchi jan. 아주머니 이거 맛볼 수 있을까요? Can I try this one, please?
네.
이게 뭘로 만드십니까? What do you make it
네,
with?
김치로 묵은지.
묵은지.
숙성해가지고.
예.
양념 묵은지.
Alright, so old kimchi, fermented for a long time, flour, eggs, and also minced pork. I see. Can I try a little bit, please? Especially now in winter time, you know, when it's cold, after walking in the market. Nothing like some kimchi pancake with this very cute orange color. Oh, that's nice. We are arriving in Karak market, Karak Sijang, which is the largest market in Korea. It's a wholesale market. Anybody can come, and you have to imagine it, you know, during the night. It's packed with people coming from all the provinces of Korea, bringing the vegetables, the fruits, the seafood as well. I mean, everything you need on a grand table. It's cold, it's the early morning, but no sacrifice is big enough for kimchi. So let's go and buy the kimchi ingredients together. Today we are focusing on kimchi. Even in winter time you have these beautiful peppers, beautiful bright peppers. Wow, the center must be yellow, this light yellowish color, and the lines of the leaves should be straight, and here you see the leaves should be also thin, not as thick as the ones on the outside. Inside leaves should be thin. That's the secret of buying a good cabbage for kimchi. And
국산 의성 육즙 최고 좋은 거예요.
okay, the best of the best Korean production. You have 4 or 5 kinds of garlic in Korea, and this one is the best. You see, with this slightly pinkish color, or even it's even velvet. So, you know, it's very important in kimchi for 2 reasons. First, it helps the fermentation. And the second one is it's a very important source of protein in wintertime that you can find in the kimchi. So these 2 reasons make the 젓갈, especially the 새우젓, which is the shrimp paste, very important. 그죠? 그거는 쌀이 또 많은 것 같은데?
네, 저희 많습니다.
Ah, wait, this one is the one from June. Seems bigger. 이거 주세요.
네.
이게 또 비싸요?
네.
그럼 이거 주세요. I prefer this one. It's more fleshy, it's bigger. The taste is stronger also. I think it's going to be better for my kimchi. Look at that. And it 어디서 나왔습니까? Mokpo? That's from Mokpo in the south province of Chola. Very famous for fisheries. 네.
And besides red chili pepper, salt, etc., when making kimchi, there are a lot of necessary ingredients. Of course, depending on the type of kimchi, ingredients vary a lot.
Some people say there are like around 200 kinds of kimchi, so it's impossible to make all of them at home and have experience all of them in restaurants. So the best is to come here, and like Korean people and foreigners as well, come in a supermarket or in a specialized shop and buy kimchi, because as you can see, there are corners specialized in the side dishes and the kimchi. So you see, in Korea you have so many kinds because of the different regions, different seasons, and you have also different recipes according to the depending on the families and traditions. So that's a good example here of the variety of kimchi we can find. Here you have the dry radish kimchi mumalengi. Here you have the sesame leaf, which is actually the perilla leaf kimchi, the kennip. This is the posam kimchi, or wrapped kimchi. You can see the chestnut inside. Over there you have the chonga kimchi, which is a young or summer radish kimchi. This is oisobagi, or cucumber kimchi, stuffed inside. Over there you have the well-known bechu kimchi, and this one is a kat kimchi, a kind of sesame, mustard leaf kimchi. And you know what I like in Korean supermarkets? You have always a corner to taste. So this one is the dried radish or mumalengi kimchi. Very crispy, fresh, nice, perfect. Perfect seasoning. The dapa kimchi, you know, the water kimchi. You see, it's cabbage with the carrot and other condiments. It's a very refreshing kimchi, and that's the perfect match to go with the jeon, the pancake, like we had in the market. So that's a very good match. One of these untold rules, you know, like nobody will tell you, it's not written in books, but you know that in certain occasions, with special dishes, you have special kimchi. So it's always a question of finding the good harmony. So it's not only between the dishes, of course, it's also with the people with whom you are. It's also the weather that you have on that day. And so it's trying to match everything. I wouldn't say in the universe, but something like that. You know, it's all about what we call in Korean the bunwigi or the kibun, you know, the kind of the special energy or spirit you are sharing with other people and with the place. And of course with the food. how did you like our trip in Korean kimchi world? You understood it was one of the most important elements in Korean cuisine. So next time you go to a Korean restaurant, don't forget to try one of them, even if you don't remember all the different kinds of kimchi that we have seen today. And I see you next week for our next episode or trip into Korean cuisine. Bye bye.